is Ludumo Lamati. I'm fighting on the second, fighting Ken Jordan from Philippines, international fight. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to get back in the ring after 3 months or 4 months. I can't wait, and it's been good. I've been waiting for this, being active, always in and out the ring. You know, it helps moving the career forward, you know, stepping into the international rankings, which I've been looking for long now in my career, hoping that everything is going to come together end of this year.
Wow, things are moving for you as well. I mean, you are undefeated, you're still doing your thing, you're continuing with your career, moving along nicely, fighting international opponents. Ludumo, you mentioned that things are going to come together at the end of the year. We're all talking about world titles now for South African boxers. We saw Sibenati Nonshinga doing the business as of recently, and we believe you're close to doing that as well. Is that what you're referring to?
I'm looking for something like that, you know. That's all I can say now. You know, man, it's hard to say things in this sport. Firstly, you gotta work things behind the closed doors, and then when all things finalized, then you can, you know, talk and tell everyone what it's gonna come. But with my manager, my trainer, and also with no doubt being on our corner, Colin Nathan, so we're hoping something is gonna come up.
Yeah, and it's obviously, I mean, things do move along and things change, and a lot of work is done behind the scenes. Most importantly for you is to take care of business when it comes to the fight day. Again, you got Ken Jordan there, you'll be contesting against. Have you done a lot of research on him?
Yeah, he's a heavy hitter, both arms with power. He got a lot of knockouts in his record. It's a good fight. It's a very good fight. I gotta be sharp and quick. So this is gonna be a good fight. The guy, you know, the guy is very good, so I'm looking forward to him. I study him maybe once or twice. He's very good. He's a dangerous fighter, so it's a danger that I'm looking for. So, but doing my preparation, you know, and I've got an experienced trainer, so he knows what he's doing. So I just let everything on him. If the way he takes the fight, I go on, and he just tells me what to do. I do what he tells me. That's all. The one thing I'm sure of is just to put my ear and listen and do what he tells me, and all it's gonna go in good.
And very important as well to get an international opponent for you, because most likely when you fight for the world title, it won't be someone from South Africa, it'll be someone from overseas. So style-wise, you need to be prepared for what's to come.
Yeah, especially this kind of guy, you know, guys that are close ranking, guys that I'm gonna do elimination with them. They have similar style with this guy, but one thing that he has differently, which is power. But other than that, it's a very good test for me, you know, preparing myself to go challenge those world titles. You know, this is not just a division. I know what I'm up to here.
Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of respect for what you do as well, because, you know, if I go into social media and I even check my channel on YouTube, I see the viewership is high, I see people are commenting, you know. Does that give you confidence in knowing that there are people behind you?
Yeah, you know, it's good to know that there are people behind you, but sometimes it helps you to focus, you know, put blinders, act like nothing is happening, or just don't look and focus on the finishing line. You see, I like to choose that path, you know, not that I don't need followers, I do need them much. I do. This sport, without them, there's nothing, but I like to keep myself on the line, you know, on the goal, so that whatever good or criticism, I just look at to build myself, and I just look at what's good for me, and that's all, you know, to protect me mentally, to protect myself, to focus. That's all, man.
That's a very good point. You know, at the end of the day, it is a solo sport. I mean, you do have a team with you and you picked a good team as well to guide you. But what have you worked on from the last fight to this fight? Is there anything in particular that you've improved on?
Yeah, we saw like what was the problem and what we were good at. You always, especially the coach that I have, he doesn't look what is good. He always look at what's gonna, you know, catch up in a long time. You know, looking at the mistake is too critical when it comes to check the mistakes. So he saw we got all the skills, we got everything that he talked about, but we need to put more explosive power and all that shit. Just technical stuff, you know, like power, aggressiveness, explosiveness, all those things. So we're putting together stuff like that now. So we're working very hard. To fix all that.
I remember we saw glimpses of your heart and your aggressiveness when you fought Estrada for the IPOP title. I mean, that was sort of a fight of the year candidates as well. you don't want to be toe-to-toe all the time, but I mean, looking at a Filipino fighter, you're most likely going to be having an experience of someone that's going to come forward and try to take your head off. How do you navigate something like that?
Nah, for my height, my range, and everything, like for this fight, with Estrada last year, he was. I think I put it pressure first. You know, I detected things, so I did that. But with my last fight here, I was just detecting the pace also. But the guy wasn't aggressive enough, and so I'm looking for interesting fight here in this coming fight. But I always want to be in control. I always want, as my coach always said, try to do your thing. Try to let someone be in your fight. Do your fight. Control. Be in control. So I always go with that mentality. I must be in control. I must be the one that detects things. So it's always like that.
And when you did the research on your opponents, are you seeing the areas in which you can dictate and control him? Are you able to do that against this particular opponent?
Yeah, control the range, control the distance, because you can't hit what's far from you, and you can't hit what's moving. So I know the keys, the keys to come up with the win on this fight. Just control my distance, give him a range, and that's all.
I know you work on yourself and your own abilities, but is there someone like internationally you've looked at that's inspired you to do these particular attributes, or is it mainly just your training program, your coaching team?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. International, I like the two guys, Errol Spence and Crawford. When it comes distance, this guy, he can close distance, Errol Spence, and also Crawford can fight far and he can fight in, and he's tall also. So I look both guys, and also the old school like Thomas Haynes and Sugar and Leonard. I look up to those guys so much.
Yeah, those are very good examples. You write about distance control and sort of changing of angles and manipulation, especially manipulation with boxing. When it comes to going to world level, which we're speaking about after this, because I know we're taking this one step at a time, but when it comes to that stage and things get really dialed up, are you going to be using all those tools?
That's all gonna do. That's all I'm gonna do. And when I'm looking at the world champions there in my division, me personally, I don't see the problem much. I see the problem to the guys that are waiting, the guys that are rankings. I think they're the big threat, but the champions are for me, I don't see the problem on them. Like Fulton, he got short arms, is short, and is not a pressure fighter. For me to fight someone like that, someone that is gonna give me, it's more comfortable, And when I look at the guy from the IBF champion and the WBA, AJ, when I'm watching him, he's also, he had clean, basic, but he just have volume, but he's also short, is to control distance and give him a range. And I don't see problems to those guys. Anytime, whenever time I got chance, I'll be happy to grab it.
And going back to Ken Jordan really quickly, when you assess the fights, and I know, particularly in your weight divisions, there's not always knockouts, but is there one coming?
It depends on him. It's always, to me, it depends on him. The harder you go, the harder I go. The more dangerous you become, the more dangerous I come. So it will depend on him how he wants it to be done, because I can do it anyway. So it depends on him. If he comes hard, he will fall hard. That's all.
So I don't want to keep you too long. I know you said that you want to do this quickly. So I'm going to quickly let you say a message for Ken Jordan. What would you say to him before you guys square off?
Appreciate for him for taking the fight and come here and do his best. I'm really looking forward for him to come and put on show and give his best. I'm also going to do the same, and that's all.
All right. And then lastly, Ludumo, any thank yous, any shout outs?
Shout outs to my team, my coach Pumzi, Larry Weinstein, and No Doubt Management. Thank you everyone that putting this thing together. Thank you so much, man.